Hello everyone, my name is Aastha and you are watching Delhi Knowledge Track. I welcome you all to our classes for the International English Olympiad Class 4th. Now this is our 19th class. This is our last class in the term of our topics. The next class, the 20th class, will be your sample exam, your sample mock paper. This class is the last class in the terms of the topics, and our topic for today is punctuation. We will first understand the concept of punctuation, the various punctuation marks, and then we will solve the mock questions for specifically punctuation. And these sample questions, they are taken from the book of MTG Publications. This is just one of the many books which are available in the market for IUO study. You can choose any of them as per your convenience. I have just chosen this one for my reference. So let's start today's class.
Alright, so first we will understand what punctuation really is, its meaning. Now punctuation refers to a mark such as full stop, comma or a question mark used in writing to separate sentences and their elements and to clarify the meaning. So what is punctuation? Punctuation refers to a mark. And what are the examples of such marks? Like full stops, like commas, like question marks. You will be doing further more punctuation marks in the following slide, but this is just a brief meaning that punctuation includes various marks. And what are they used for? What is the purpose? They are used in writing to separate sentences and their elements. Separate various sentences and elements and clarify the meaning. So various punctuation marks या में sentences और उनके elements क्या होते हैं? जैसे sentence के अंदर the subject, the predicate, the various words, the actions. So all these elements to separate them and also to clarify the meaning. To clarify the meaning. कैसे full stop से हमें कैसे क्या पता चलेगा कि यहाँ sentence खत्म हो गया. हमें comma से क्या पता चलेगा? जैसे कि अब we are referring to more words, more clauses. और question mark से क्या पता चलेगा कि ये question है. So ऐसे ही to clarify meaning. So this is the basic definition of punctuation, basic understanding आपको होनी चाहिए कि punctuation होती क्या है. These include marks, full stops, commas, question marks, which are used in writing to separate the sentences and their elements and to clarify meaning. Alright, I hope the meaning is clear. Now we will move on to the next slide. Alright, so now we begin with various punctuation marks. The first one is period or full stop. Here is the full stop. We know what a full stop is. Let's see its various uses. First of all, it is used at the end of a sentence. This is pretty easy that it is used at the end of a sentence. For example, I will decide what to wear and a full stop. So full stops are used at the end of a sentence. When you have completed a sentence, you put a full stop. Then it is also used at the end of a command. When you're giving a command to somebody, open the door. Right? When you're commanding someone to open the door, get me a glass of water. Or like something like sit down. So these kind of commands, we use full stop. Then at the end is used at the end of an indirect question. Now indirect question, suppose see a direct question is me asking you just this: which book did you refer for history? And for this we would have used a question mark. Alright, which book did you refer for history? But in case of an indirect question, what happens is You don't. This is not a direct question. It is an indirect question where you say, "I am asking which book did you refer for history." So this is an indirect question. Although it is a question, but it does not really have a question mark because it is not a direct question. It is being asked in an indirect manner. So you use full stop in this case. Then it is used in abbreviations. Like here, the sentence is, I like mangoes, strawberries, etc. for breakfast. So etc. etc. dot. This is an abbreviation for etc. So here you use full stop to show that this is an abbreviation. And at the end of all these sentences, so when is the period or a full stop used? At the end of a sentence, at the end of a command, like open the door. It is used at the end of an indirect question, like I'm asking which book did you refer for history? And it is used in abbreviations like I like mangoes, strawberries, etc. for breakfast. Alright, let's move on to the next punctuation. Alright, so now this is also part of punctuation as to where a capital letter is used. Now capital letters are used in these following criteria, these following ways. When we are telling about days or months, like here, day we're talking about Monday or Tuesday, any day of the week, we use a capital letter. Then when we're talking about the month, April, so A is capital. Then whenever the pronoun I is used, whenever due to I, it is never, only a single I. We don't write it like this. This is incorrect. We write in capital manner. For example, Jack and I are going to a concert tonight. Then when we refer to first names, Mary, John, Alexander, Elizabeth, and any first name, we use the first letter is capital here and here. And similarly, when we tell surnames, Brown, Smith, Clinton, Obama, any surname, your first letter is capital. Similarly, when we are talking about any titles like Queen, like Doctor, any other profession, Professor, Prince, King, so we use the first letter is capital. Then countries first letter is capital. India, Australia, Spain, any country. Towns and cities like London, L capital, New York, N and Y capital, Hong Kong, HUK capital, so on. Places and buildings like the White House. So T, W and H capital. The Eiffel Tower here, I-E and T, E, Eiffel Tower. First letters are capital. Street names, rivers, lakes and oceans like the Thames, Lake Victoria, Atlantic Ocean, A capital. Mountains and volcanoes, Mount Everest, M&E capital. Alps, A capital. Mount Vesuvius. Religious terms like Catholic, Christian, Methodist, Hindu, God, Allah, all these first letters capital. Languages, English is capital. Spanish, French, Italian. Then nationalities, American, A, Norwegian, N capital, Greek, G capital, English, E capital, Russian, R capital. Any brand names, Pepsi, P capital, Mercedes, M capital, Chanel, C capital, Vuitton, V capital, Rolex, R capital. any companies or organizations like Apple A capital, Google G capital, Amazon A capital, I capital, BBC, it's a short form, so all of it is capital. United Nations, UNN capital, holidays and festivals, Christmas, Easter, Halloween, all these. So you see capital letters in English. They are also a very important part of punctuation. So you have to remember where you have to make the first letter of that particular word as capital. Alright, let's move on now. Okay, so the next punctuation is a comma. Punctuation mark is comma. We all know what a comma is, right? This is how a comma looks like. So when is comma used? It is used after the expression. Suppose we're talking about we use some expression like fortunately or unfortunately or afterwards or next or then, now. These kind of expressions, after them a comma is used. You see here the comma, and at the end we use our full stop. Then next usage could be, it is used after the use of a past participle. Now while driving, this is a past participle being used, that past participle is while driving. And then what happened? I could see the trees passing by. So while driving is the past participle. So after the usage of the past participle, a comma is used. Then comma could also be used to separate sentences. For example, I went to the market, comma, and purchased a few boards. So these are two separate sentences. इनको हम दो separate sentences में कैसे लिखेंगे? I went to the market, full stop. I and की जगह I purchased a few boards, full stop. But we are joining these two sentences, writing them together. So to show these two separate sentences in one sentence, we say I went to the market, comma, and purchased a few boards, full stop. Alright. The other usage could be, it is used to set off quoted words. Quoted words. For example, she said, comma. Now when we are telling about what someone has said exactly, when we are quoting somebody else, that what she said, she said, and the exact words, I am telling her exact words. Then she said, then we use a comma, and then give her quoted words. Alright, so when is comma used? It is used after the expression. It is used after the use of past participle. It is used to separate sentences. And it is used to set off quoted words. Alright, now let's move on to the next punctuation mark. Alright, so for comma we have a few more usage, like comma is used when an adverb clause is used. Like here, after, when we are talking about this expression, this clause, that after is a adverb, right? After is an adverb. So after mom arrives, then we all should have our dinner. So after mom arrives is the adverb clause. So after this, we will be using a comma and then giving the rest of the sentence. Next, it is used to separate parts of a date. For example, my graduation date is May 24, 2017. So graduation date, May 24 and a comma and the year. So you're talking about the month, date and the year, and we're using a comma in the middle. Alright, so these are the two more usages of comma. Let's move on. Now question mark is probably one of the easiest. Punctuation mark. It is being used when it indicates a question being asked. Like, would you like some milk? Question mark. How do I look? Question mark. Will you come to my place tomorrow? Question mark. So I'm pretty sure that you will never make a mistake in the punctuation which requires a question mark. This is one of the easiest. Alright, let's move on to the next one. Okay, so here we have quotation marks. Now these are quotation marks. Like we use opening quotation marks, then we in whatever the statement, whatever sentence or clause is there, and then we close the quotation marks. So they are used to enclose a direct quotation. When are they used? To enclose a direct quotation, which means a person's exact words. Like here, my mom said, and we are quoting the exact words of mom. Okay, we are not using this in indirect speech. We are telling this whatever mom said directly. My mom said, and comma. Remember we talked about this in comma when we are quoting somebody. So after we tell that, you know, this person said or that person said. So my mom said, and comma, and then we say, if you don't finish your homework, I won't order pizza today. Right? So many punctuation marks in here. We have a comma, we have quotation marks here, we have another comma here, we have full stop and quotation marks closed. Alright, so using a person's exact words, that's when quotation marks are used. Similarly, we have, he asked, what is your age? So here, again, after he asked, we put in a comma, and then the exact question, the exact words are enclosed in the quotation marks. This is the first usage. Then the second usage is to identify any titles or works or references. For example, we have The Diary of a Young Girl. It is written by Anne Frank. So we have put in her book title and her work in a quotation mark. Then we referred to the Maroon 5 song Yellow, and Yellow is the title of the song. It's the work of Maroon 5. So it's put in it's enclosed in the quotation marks. Alright, so these are two broad usages. Let's move on. Alright, so now let's take the quiz. Punctuation marks. We have done a few broad ones which are important for your reference, and for the IEO, these are the broad categories which are being asked. So I have only covered them for you, and the rest you will learn in your future classes as you move up your grades. So that was all. For punctuation, probably you will be given some sort of unpunctuated, non-punctuated questions where you will have to punctuate them correctly. And the rest, there will be other categories of questions as well, which we will see in the questions. Alright, now it's time for the quiz. Now for every question, you will be given 1 minute. 1 minute, 60 seconds you will be given as per the timer. Now for why am I giving you 60 seconds? Because for every IEO question, you are given more than 60 seconds in the final exam. तो मैंने सेफ साइड पे आपको 1 मिनट दिया है. अब इसमें दो कैटेगरी ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स होंगे. वन कैटेगरी जो लेस देन 1 मिनट में अपने क्वेश्चन सॉल्व कर लेते हैं. तो जब ये कर लेते हैं तो यू शुड तो अगर आपने जल्दी क्वेश्चन सॉल्व कर लिया तो आप फास्ट फॉरवर्ड करके आप आंसर देख लीजिए. पर वो कैटेगरी जो स्टूडेंट्स ये 1 मिनट में आंसर नहीं दे पाते हैं। तो आपको डिसहार्टन नहीं होना है, दुखी नहीं होना है। आप पॉज करें और पहले अपना आंसर दें। जो भी आंसर आपको लग रहा है सही है वो आप आंसर लिखें, उसके बाद ही आप आंसर देखें। ये यू शुड मेक श्योर कि आप कोई भी क्वेश्चन स्किप ना करें, आप सबके आंसर दें, चाहे वो सही हो या गलत, वो सेकेंडरी चीज है। मोर इम्पॉर्टेंट इज कि आप पहले आंसर दें। ओके, so and for every correct answer you give yourself 10 points, and for every incorrect answer no points. Why no points? Because IEO में there is no negative marking. आपका आंसर चाहे गलत हो या फिर आपने आंसर नहीं किया हो तो आपको 0 ही मिलेगा। ओके, सो इट इज बेटर कि सपोज अगर आप किसी क्वेश्चन में कंफ्यूजन है कि इसका आंसर क्या होगा, नहीं समझ आ रहा, तो आपने उसे छोड़ना नहीं है, आपने उसको आंसर करना है। और चाहे आपको लग रहा हो कि ये शायद ये आंसर सही हो सकता है बी या सी में से, तो आप उसे पक्का पॉइंट आउट करके आओ, मतलब उसे OMR शीट पे मार्क करके आओ, बिकॉज देयर आर चांसेस कि वो आपका आंसर सही हो जाए। ऑलराइट, सो लेट्स स्टार्ट। Alright, so here what we have to do, the question says choose a sentence with the correct punctuation. Now here we are given a random sentence or a question which has no punctuation marks. Okay, and we have done our various punctuation marks, so we will have to choose which of the following is being punctuated correctly. So let's see. Now here it says, is the lion a brave animal? Now first of all you have to see which will be the first letter will be capital. So here I. Is the lion a brave animal? So will there be any comma, any quotation marks here? No. Here, and this is a question because we are asking, is the lion a brave animal? Starting with a verb, it's a question. So is the lion a brave animal? So here which one is punctuated correctly? A. For the rest of the options you see, L is capital, B is capital, A is capital, it's an adjective, lion is an animal, all of these they're not proper nouns. And similarly here it is, we are being used an exclamation mark, which is not correct. Then here again we have a full stop in the end, which is not correct as well. The correct answer is A. Right, correct is this one. Is the lion a brave animal? Alright, let's move on to the next one. Alright, so here first and foremost, the first letter will be capital. Sentences: how wonderful the weather is. Now the first letter of these sentences has to be capital, right? And then there is nothing else to be made capital, no comma, no quotation marks, and in the end. And this is not a question, this is not a statement, rather this is an exclamation. You are appreciating the weather and excitement and showing excitement that how wonderful the weather is. So the correct answer here becomes which one? The correct answer is B. And for the rest of these, here H is not capital. Here there's also a question mark in the end, so it makes it incorrect. C, again a question mark in the end, incorrect. Here we have an exclamation mark in the middle and a full stop in the end, so this is also incorrect. The correct answer is B. Alright, so here the statement is, no, I will not do this. Alright, so here you see, first of all we will be making N capital, right? And then after no, we know that comma is used to separate these two clauses. So we're talking no, and then we pause and say I will be capital, because the pronoun I is always capital. I will not do this. And is this a question? Is this a statement? Or is this an exclamation? This is a statement, so full stop. The correct answer here is B. No, I will not do this. Alright. And as far as the rest of these are concerned, here I is not capital. Here there's a question mark, so it's incorrect. Here again there are double commas, which is incorrect. Here the first letter is not capital and there is no full stop. So many mistakes in the other three, and the correct one is B. No, I will not do this, full stop. Alright. Okay, so here Ram, Sham, Radha and Suraj are great friends. So here the first one is already given to us as capital. When we're talking about few people, you need to separate all of them, separate these clauses. So Ram, comma, Sham, comma, Radha and Suraj are great friends. In the end we'll have a full stop. And Sham, Radha and Suraj. So all of their first letters will be capital. Right? So which one is being done correctly here? Here, B. Ram, Sham and Radha and Suraj are great friends. Right? For the other ones, for option A, the S of Sham is not capital, S of Suraj is not capital, and great friends, here G and F are being made capital where they don't need to be made any capital letters in great friends. Similarly in C, there is no comma here, Radha R is not capital, Suraj S is not capital, and in D again no comma anywhere, and S is not capital of Sham, R is not capital of Radha and Suraj S is not capital. So the correct answer is B. Ram, Sham, Radha and Suraj are great friends and full stop. Alright. What would you like to have for breakfast? This one seems like a question, right? What? Because it is starting with what. It's an interrogative word, what? So it is supposed to be a question. And now for the rest of these, W, what? Sentence beginning with what? What W has to be capital. What would you like to have for breakfast? And there will be a question mark. This one is very easy. So which one is correct over here? Here, C. What would you like to have for breakfast? For the rest of the options, in A, here it is an exclamation mark which is incorrect. B, here it is a comma in between which is also incorrect, and a full stop in the end which is also incorrect. Then D, a comma in the middle, incorrect. Right, so the correct answer is C. Alright, so the next question says, Aman said to Meeta, I have to go out on Sunday. Now here you see, here there are going to be a lot of punctuation marks. Let's start. Aman. Now Aman is a name. We know that it is a proper noun. It will start with a capital letter. Also, it is the first word of the complete sentence. So the first letter will also be capital. This is given as capital, which is correct. Then Aman said to Meeta. Now Meeta is another name here, where we are supposed to have M as capital, right? And we learned when we learned about comma, we learned that when we talk about the exact words or quotations, then first we use comma after we tell that this person said. Okay, and whatever quote or whatever words, whatever exact words that that person has said, we use them in quotation marks, right? So here quotation marks and here quotation marks, and this shall, and this is the end of a sentence as well, so full stop. So you saw so many punctuation marks here. Let's see which one is correct. To go out on sun, and one more, sorry, yeah, Sunday. We also read in the capital letters that the days of the week, they are supposed to be capital, so S will be capital. Let's see which one is correct. Yeah, C. Aman said to Meeta, I have to go out on Sunday. Why so? Why not the others? Because you see in A, here M is not capital, and in B, here I is not capital. We learned that this pronoun I also has to be capital, right? Pronoun I is always capital. This I is not capital. Then in D, again M is not capital, and there's a question mark at the end, which is incorrect because this is not a question. Alright. So this is, here the answer is C. Aman said to Meeta, I have to go out on Sunday. Let's move on. Alright, so here, tell me the truth, son. Okay, so here, T will starting the sentence, here T will be capital, right? And we're telling this to son, so tell me the truth, son. So we are addressing, so here we will have a comma, and in the end we will have a full stop. Now none of here we will have other capital letter, there is no other comma, there is no other quotation mark. So which one is correct here? C. Tell me the truth, son. Now in the other options like A, T is not capital. Here there is no comma. This is S. Son is also capital, which is incorrect. Then there is a question mark in the end, which is also incorrect. This is not a question. Then again here there is no comma, and S is also capital, which is incorrect. Then in D, there's a comma which is incorrect, and here S is capital, which is also incorrect. Alright. So here the question says, Sam, please come to my house tomorrow. So let's see. Now Sam is somebody's name, and the first letter of the sentence is also supposed to be capital, which is already capital is given, so this is correct. Then here at the end we will have a full stop, right? This is a request. Sam, please come to my house tomorrow. So we are addressing Sam, so we put on a comma here and say Sam, and because we are addressing Sam, so we put in a comma after Sam, and after this there will be no capital letter because there is no proper noun being used, no name, and nothing else is being used, and only Sam S will be capital because it is the first letter of the first word of the sentence, and also it is the name. It is a name, so name first letter is supposed to be capital. Then we'll have a comma here and please come to my house tomorrow. The correct answer here is D. Now why not the other ones? Here the comma is at the incorrect position, there is no full stop, and B, here there are two commas over here which is at the wrong position. See over here as well, and there is no full stop. Again there is a please comma over here as well, another comma, and then there's a question mark, and this question mark is not supposed to be here because it is not a question. Alright, let's move on to the next question. My father, Mr. Ramlal, is an MLA. Now here you see M. My M starts, so this is supposed to be capital, and then my father, Mr. Ramlal. Here, Mr. M is supposed to be capital. Ramlal is a name. R is also supposed to be capital. Now Mr. is a title, so M will be capital and there will be a full stop here. Why? Because it is an abbreviation. MR dot is an abbreviation of Mr. Then Ramlal. Ramlal, for that R is supposed to be capital. Then an MLA, and MLA here M dot L dot A dot, and this will be a full stop as well. So which is the correct answer here? Here it will be D. Why not the other ones? So in A option, this F is given as capital for father, which is incorrect. Then here L is also capital, which is incorrect. This F and L. Then an A is capital, which is incorrect. And then there's a question mark in the end, which is also incorrect. Then similarly in B, here there's a question mark, which is incorrect. An A is capital, which is again incorrect. MLA, this is given in, this is not given in capital letters. This is incorrect. Then for C, in the end, we are given an exclamation mark, which is also incorrect. Alright, now let's move on to the next question. I want toffee, candy and chocolate. So here the first letter is I. Also it is the pronoun I, which is always capital. Then toffee, candy and chocolate. So toffee, then we'll have a comma because we are separating the different parts. Toffee, candy and chocolate. And this shall end with a full stop, period. Alright. So which is the correct answer here? It's D. Toffee, candy and chocolate. So in the A option, here there is no comma and here there is an extra comma, and C here is given capital and there is no full stop. Then again in B, T is given as capital, there is no comma here, and C is given as capital and there's a question mark, which is incorrect because this is not a question. Then C, there is no comma here and the C is given as capital and it's an exclamation mark, which is also incorrect. Alright, so the correct answer is D. Let's move on. So here as well we have to do the same thing. Choose the sentence with correct punctuation. Add milk, cream, cocoa powder in the eggless cake mixture. Alright, so here add, we have to make A capital because it is the first letter of the first word of the sentence. So A will be capital. And then add milk, cream. Milk, after milk we will have a comma because we're separating these two different parts. Milk, cream, comma again, cocoa powder in the eggless cake mixture, and then we'll have a full stop. Alright, so let's see which one is correct. Here B option is correct. Milk, cream, cocoa powder in the eggless cake mixture. If you see in the A option, here A is not capital of add, M is capital of milk, which is incorrect. There is no comma between milk and cream, and eggless E is capital, which is incorrect. Then in the C option, there is no comma between milk and cream. There is no comma between cream and cocoa powder, and C and P of cocoa powder is capital, which is incorrect again. Then eggless E is capital, which is incorrect. Cake C is capital, which is incorrect. Then in option D, again M is capital of milk. There is no comma between cream and cocoa powder. Right? So there are numerous mistakes in all the other options, and the correct option here is B. Let's move on. Alright, so this one says, no, I have never seen the Dolls Museum in Delhi. Alright, so here, no, here N will be capital because it is the first letter of the first word of the sentence, and so the sentence begins with a capital letter. N is capital, and then after no there will be a comma because we are addressing and saying, no, I have never seen the Dolls Museum. Then I is a pronoun, and for that we will be having I as capital. Right, I have never seen the Dolls Museum. Now Dolls Museum, this is a place, this is a particular place, like we read about those monuments and museums, and that their letters are to be capitalized. See, dolls, D will be capital, and for the museum, M will be capital. I never seen the Dolls Museum in Delhi. Here again, for Delhi, we will be having the first letter D as capital because it is the name of a city. And in the end, there will be a full stop. Why? Because it is, full stop is used to show the end of the sentence. Right? So, which is the correct answer here? The correct answer is D. Right, and let's see for the other options. The first one here, Dolls Museum, T and M is not capital, and there is a question mark in the end, which is incorrect because this is not a question, it is a statement. And B, here the comma is at the incorrect position, And again, D and M of Dolls Museum is not capital. And Delhi is in quotation marks, which is not to be done. And there's an exclamation mark, which is incorrect again. Then in C option, again, incorrect position of the comma. Never N capital, which makes no sense. Dolls Museum, D and M not capital. Right, and the correct answer, of course, is D. So that's it.
So that's all for today's last conceptual class. Now, this was the last class on the basis of topics. The next class will be about the sample question paper. This was the last topic class of punctuation. I hope that you have understood today's topic and all the previous topics that we have done as well. I also expect you to revise these concepts, brush them up, and also solve the mock questions again and again, especially the ones that you're making a mistake in. Alright, so that's all. I will see you in the last and the final class, which will have the sample question paper. Till then, bye and thank you.